Yeah.
Avengers, it finally came back. The second movie, the one we've all been waiting for.
Of Ultron.
Oh,
Freaking James Spader.
Oh, guys, I don't normally do this in front of my male friends, but
Oh God.
It's okay. We don't.
You know,
we understand.
if it was a different time, I would.
It's just that it hasn't gone soft since I finished the movie. It just hasn't stopped. And they say
I don't
4-hour erections are bad. But you know what?
You gotta take care of that.
If they're bad, then I don't want to be right. With Avengers: Age of Ultron, probably this is everything that we kind of hoped it would be in a way. At least I'm speaking for myself.
To me, it was actually more. I got more from it than I expected.
You know what? Because I thought they were showing us everything in the trailers.
I was like, what are they gonna do?
What more could they do? And they bring out a character that dude, for comic, like, just word of warning, comic book fans, this movie is like just seeing all of your favorite superheroes on the big screen, and they nail it. They get the feel exactly right. This gives me the exact same feeling that I had when I would read those Avengers comics when I was like 7,
Spoilers, right?
8.
Spoilers, right?
Oh, is this?
We'll do half.
Yeah, what we're going to do is, for those of you who haven't seen it, listen for now, and those of you who want to discuss the ending with us, at the end of the
we're going to have a non-spoiler section where we talk about all of the things that we love. We're going to give a recommendation, and then right after that, we're going to get into spoiler territory. We're going to cover everything that we loved about this movie, because you can't really talk about the things that you adore about this movie without spoiling some stuff.
Totally.
So, let's start off with, you guys fucking know this. This is the biggest movie to come out. If we have to explain to you the previous films or what this movie is, just fucking go home.
You want to know? I think this is one of the coolest things. Is none of these films were lacking, right? None of them feel like filler.
Yeah. No, they don't.
None of them feel like just let's just get this together before Avengers comes out. I mean,
except
Thor
for
a
maybe
little bit. Like,
Thor: The Dark World.
thing.
No, the very first one, the very first Thor. That was just, and then Captain America, of course, was just like Avengers. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, I hate the one that I disliked it the most was in Iron Man 2, but. Hey, you know what? I can forgive it because fucking Avengers really did happen, and oh my god, to think that we've come this far, that we've made it this far.
Freaking, it's hard to top the first Avengers.
Yeah, especially.
And they did it.
They did.
Because they set such high expectations with the first one.
I know. And this movie will probably destroy the box office. The box office will break.
I think the box office for the first one was like 17 million. This was at like 28 million.
28 for the it was like the opening night. The opening night.
Jesus
27 million. Like, ridiculous. And then not even counting like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, this weekend is going to be
big.
It was already like it was.
I'm gonna see it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it again.
Completely honest, I'm gonna go see it again.
I want to see it again.
Yeah.
I want to see it multiple times.
Maybe today.
I wouldn't mind seeing it again right tomorrow morning. I really love this movie. Oh my god,
dude! It's just I hate that I love the superhero movies so much because I don't want to pander to everyone.
Yeah.
But the people are like, oh, it's just nothing's original anymore. Gotta be. But god damn it, if this wasn't awesome.
This was fun.
I mean, that's the thing, and I'd say that I'm in kind of that boat. Not exactly complete. I'm not completely against all superhero movies, but I would put myself in that boat of like, yeah, there's kind of a lot of kind of superhero movies, and I don't mind it. But when they come out with a movie like this, where it can still be a beautiful, like, it is a good creation, in this time where there can be like some of the superhero movies, like we were talking about how I find some of the Marvel films to be fillers, like not all of them, like Iron Man 3 I didn't really like, but like we
can have debates all afternoon.
We can have debate about which are the good Marvels, but freaking both Avengers, they have Joss Whedon, what he's done.
Yeah. It's what Joss Whedon does best. It's multiple characters, multiple storylines, plot lines, but the thing that you love the most about this movie is you get to see these characters evolve. You get to see them develop. You get to see more. You learn more about them as people. You learn more about where they're going, what their flaws are. This is what I think is probably the best thing that it could do, because it's grand character development that you normally get from like TV shows. Like this type of character development we normally only see on television shows where they have like 7 seasons to develop them.
Yeah.
But now when you've got all these movies to develop them, you're getting epic character development with epic storytelling. And I really fucking love that because the characters are so larger than life. The story is so larger than life. Everything about this, it captures comic books on the scale that I love and that I go to comic book movies for.
Yeah.
This is probably like my
Yeah.
favorite, most entertaining thing I've seen in such a long time. I really cannot emphasize how well it captured both the story, the character, and the action. Because the action was really fucking cool.
Yes, totally. Those things in cartoons where you're like, that's super cool the way they combine those two powers.
Oh,
How they get like combining and like mix and matching, like but seeing it
Or how they
actually
use
happen.
their powers.
Yeah.
How they utilize them. How they will use them in clever ways to get around certain things or they're thinking with their powers to get across obstacles that I just love so
the
much.
movie was definitely more than anything. It was just full from start to finish. Like I think the last Avengers, like there were some times where I was like, okay, yeah, and I thought the first Avengers was really full too. Like, but this movie, like even more, I felt, and the character development, like you said, just. It took it to the next level. It's hard.
It's weird because remembering the original Avengers, it's like in a way, in comparison to this, it's almost like boring. Like it's not boring.
Like,
of course,
you know
but,
what?
Like,
I'm
after
gonna go-
seeing this, just all the shit that happens, and then in this one, it's like, oh, Thor's having trouble picking up his hammer. It's like, it's just so much more. It's I hope you guys understand what I'm saying.
It does kind of do this thing where it's like, man. That first Avengers is looking like only the second Avengers could make the first Avengers look bad.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the things that I fucking love, and I just need to put this out there, I can't tell you how long this movie was.
Yeah, no.
I was entertained every second of the way, and by the end of the movie, I felt like I was in the theater for only like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It felt like it just blazed by, because it was constantly entertaining me.
I agree with that, but I also disagree where I felt like it was like long, but there was never a moment where I was like, God, this movie needs to be over.
I felt like it was long, but I felt like it took me on a ride.
Exactly, the whole time
never bored me.
It was definitely a thrill ride for that. Like I was never like, all right, movie, let's wrap it up in 10 minutes here. Every time like something else, more shit would go wrong, I would be like, all right,
let's go.
Avengers assemble.
I never once said, oh, fuck you, movie. Like, I never was once like, come on, get it. Come on, let's go. Let's hurry it up.
And I normally say that a lot in children's films.
Yes, like just in the out loud and behind parents.
I was in
Just
Oh,
like-
yeah, all the time.
Yeah, just be like, hey, movie.
What?
Movie.
What was that movie that came out recently? Home.
Oh yeah.
I had a moment like that where I had to let I had to let the world know that they were all stupid for liking this shit.
Did I tell you that I want to make a cereal based off of that, like a children's cereal?
Yes, you did.
I want to make a children's cereal. It's called Homos.
It's a documentary. It's about you, right?
No. It's not a document. It's a cereal. Homos. And it's open your mouth and fill it with a big spoonful of
I was
Homos.
trying to insult him, but then I remembered that he already said it was cereal, so then I'm like, I just gave up.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, down the hatch.
God damn it.
That's the tagline. But yeah, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Okay, yeah. Do we even really need? You know what? First, before we do anything,
but this
we need
is
to hold that thought. Hold that thought.
I'm sorry.
No,
We're
remember
gonna
it
rate?
because we need to at least say first off, Avengers: Age of Ultron, 2015 movie directed by Joss Whedon, and the plot line is about the Avengers. You already know who they all are. You know
Hopefully.
Thor, Iron Man, and if you don't. I mean, like,
what
what the
rock
fuck
have
are
you
you
been
doing?
living in?
Yeah, what color is the sky in your fucking world? I mean, seriously, get out of your ass and see the first one.
I'm pretty sure, like, even in other worlds, they have this, and they're like,
They're
dude, it just came out!
They're getting this beamed in now. Yeah,
The aliens are like, God, I love that Earth show.
they all have Russian
I don't know what
accents.
that Russians or aliens.
Russian aliens.
I don't know.
Well,
Dimitri.
he considers Russia another planet.
Yeah,
He's
to
actually,
me, it's like
they are aliens.
freaking.
They might as well
foreigners.
be Martians. But I was
That's
saying
what I
that
say.
plot line just about. It's
The-
it's actually a
The
fairly
creation
simple
of
story.
Ultron. This bot
It's
thing.
it's a traditional sci-fi story in that man creates machine and
Never
AI.
goes well. Never goes well.
And you create AI, you just know you're inviting yourself for...
Sippin' Cheppy. But that's a different story.
Oh my god, no. I don't know if you see your...
Bad example.
You know what I liked about this is that you can totally see both sides. Like you
like the robot.
Totally understand.
Yeah, that robot made a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Tony Stark's his motivation behind making it made a lot of sense. Like it was like he just wants to protect his friends because Tony Stark, you know, he's always been like selfish, only cares about himself, and at first he kind of looks like that, but when you realize his motivations, it shows that he's actually caring about everyone else, which shows a good amount of character development.
That vision he has in the beginning. It's not too much of a spoiler, but Tony Stark does have a spoiler very early. Sorry, not a spoiler. Has a vision very early on that kind of leads him through the film and kind of gives him like a driving motivation. And he's not necessarily like a bad guy, but he just makes a couple decisions that are...
See, that's the thing, is that it never felt like this is the bad guy, this is the good guy, this is a character that made a very bad decision.
Yeah, I felt like when I was going in, I was afraid that everyone was going to turn on Tony Stark. Like, it was going to be everyone... Like, was
well, you have that moment where it actually happens.
Dude, that actually scared the shit out of me. When they were all fighting, I was like, guys, stop.
Mommy, Daddy, what are you doing? Put the knife down. Whoa, I just revealed a lot about myself.
I was actually kind of afraid for Banner, too, because like, I didn't want him to freak out.
Let's hold on.
Sorry.
It's not too bad. It's not that bad. It's not really a spoiler. But before we get into it...
I wanted to say that the Hulk actually pulled ahead and became my favorite character in this film.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I've always loved the Hulk.
I've always loved the Hulk, but this reinforced
since I was a little kid.
This validated it.
I will admit that Joey's the first Hulk lover that is beyond anyone that I've met.
Yeah, I knew you would love playing Hulk. Like that'd be the best storyline.
If they do that, I swear to God, I'm gonna.
Oh, dude!
I need.
All right. Before we start fanboying too much, let's give our ratings and then let's get into some spoiler territory, so that the people who haven't watched can just get away from their fucking computer and go watch freaking Age of Ultron and just throw money at Marvel, because I mean at this point
they deserve it.
Everyone,
if they're gonna keep pumping out shit like this, then I mean not shit. I mean like good shit.
If they make another Avengers,
I give this the Platinum Ultron Award. This is higher than bronze, gold, silver, anything like that. The Platinum Diamond Encrusted Ultron Award. This is so far favorite movie of the year. My favorite. Personal. This is probably the one I'm going to think about the most, the one I want to see the most, the one that just, it did something that not a lot of movies can do. It gave me the same feeling that I had when I was a kid. It made me feel like a kid reading those comics.
Totally. Getting lost in the comic world.
Like the scenes that I would see when I read those comics, seeing them visualized and seeing them nail it gives you that warm fuzzy feeling.
And a quick little break, and I hope this isn't too spoilery, but the romance parts that were in it were not like misplaced and wrong, and they were not bad.
In fact, they were a little bit tragic.
And it was kind of like it was welcome, right?
Yeah. And to be honest, I have to give this my like freaking Avengers, let's all assemble and go see this movie award. like that is, and that's what I have many opinions about this film, and I want to talk about them. But first and foremost, let's hear Joey's review, and then get the hell out of here and go watch it.
My review is that if you enjoy superheroes and you just like when fucking bad guys get punched and thrown around and just if you love that, watch this movie.
If you love fun.
Right. If you love fun, and if you like movies, because this is a good movie. It's not just a good superhero movie.
Yeah,
this
stands out as a really good movie.
Yeah.
I give this 5 golden Iron Man Extremis armors out of 5.
Yes.
That's an interesting reference.
That's a nice reference. I appreciate it. So let's get into spoiler territory right now. Everybody, you better cancel out now. Rosebud was a sled. Okay. Okay. Kevin Spacey was the what's that?
Not for Joe. John Doe.
And it's her head that was in the box. Okay. What? So we get it all out of the way now. Let's talk about the spoilers of this film.
Don't lie to them.
Okay. Holy shit. Vision.
They did it so fucking right. Oh my god. They nailed the character. Oh my god, that was the one character that you didn't think, you had no idea. And that's the thing, is that like, thinking back, like, did I ever think the Vision could work in a live action sense?
No.
And then they fucking did it. They even gave him a cape.
And you know what? I thought Vision was honestly gonna be too high tier.
Yeah, he's kind of all powerful.
Yeah, he's really fucking OP.
You saw what he did to Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
That was such
a good joke. That was
such a good scene. Oh my god.
That scene where they freaking everyone tries to pick up Thor's hammer and then freaking
he hands it over. But you notice Captain America got a nudge.
Well, that's actually I think that's gonna be a plot point for Civil War. Yeah. I honestly do.
That was really
I think that's
clever,
gonna be like a little thing where Civil War. Okay, so in the comics,
I do know about the Civil War.
Captain America like picks up Thor's hammer at last second, but if they fucking do that, like just seeing that come to life on film, I'm gonna cry.
There are little things that we think that like we as comic book fans we're taking as like, oh, they're planting seeds left and right for the most epic fucking one of the best storylines in comic book history.
Absolutely,
Civil War,
dude. And guess what? They're bringing Spider-Man into it.
Oh
yeah. Freaking Sony finally got off their freaking high horse and gave the rights to Marvel. I mean, they didn't give them. They lent them for...
I like Andrew Garfield as a person, but I don't like him as Spider-Man. Yeah, I hate him as Spider-Man.
To be honest, I liked him as Spider-Man. I didn't like the direction of Spider-Man, and I thought that was where the big problems lie. Because I thought the first Spider-Man, I thought there's some good pieces, and I liked his character, and I liked the funness of it. But the movies themselves, to me, and it's hard to disassociate from them.
This is a good compare and contrast moment for me, because I felt when I saw those two Amazing Spider-Man movies, I felt like this wasn't made by a fan of the comics. This was made by a person who was told about the comics, and he saw it and he said, that's silly. We're not going to do that.
Dude.
Oh, that's silly. We're not going to do that.
If they could do Superior Spider-Man with if they could do that, I would die. Like, legitimately.
Oh god, you're gonna give me fanboy orgasms left and right.
I love Superior Spider-Man. I think that's my favorite arc. I gotta shut up now, because we're talking about
Okay, wait. But the thing is that I felt like The Amazing Spider-Man was not made by fans of the comics. But the entire time
we've had this discussion about how Mark Webb probably got hired because of his name.
Yeah, no, I guarantee that.
Yeah, they were just sitting in a room and they're like, should we get, Mark Webb? What if we got Mark Webb?
And then
he's available. Let's, and then it just devolved from there.
God, that's all too real.
I know.
It's too realistic of a thing. We know that could actually happen. But the thing was, Avengers, I felt like they're not only fans, but they fucking love the universe. And everybody.
And that made them really make it what we as fans wanted it to be.
Yeah, and not just the director, not just the writer, but the actors, the set dressing, the everything about it.
Actors.
Oh, fucking Robert.
Every actor that's ever lived gets a cameo.
Yeah, every actor who has ever played a person in a movie ever before.
In a Marvel movie, if you're in a Marvel movie...
Actually, true that. If you're in a Marvel movie...
You get a cameo.
You're in this movie, because, like, damn.
Here.
Yeah, it is.
There's
a lot of steamy love for this movie. Just
this room's heating up for the amount of, like...
It's like whenever the Hulk, if he gets too angry, he actually starts to radiate heat. So it's actually kind of reminds me. I'm loving this movie so much. I'm starting to radiate heat.
Mm-hmm. So you're the Hulk. Therefore.
Yeah. Well,
it's like fanboy rage. What if there's like a fanboy Hulk who just whenever he got so excited, he just turns into like a fanboy Hulk.
He turns into Kevin Smith. Oh my god!
Watch Comic Book Men, please.
I had a point that I was gonna make a second ago. I forget what it was. Shit. You save me, Spencer.
Just this movie. As one who is probably less, like, who can relate to you and not being as crazy of a comic reader, and I watched the shows, and I've read a few comics, but I was never, like, super into it. I still felt that feeling of, like,
love.
The cartoon, you know when you watch those cartoon Avengers movies or any of those sort of things, like, those awesome storylines and those awesome epics.
Yeah.
That was brought to life in a way that I haven't felt like that toward a epic superhero movie in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, And, like, Avengers gave me a glimpse of that, but to be honest, this film, visually and just character-wise, took it to the next level. Just crazy good acting, good themes of good and evil. I mean,
good
like,
effects,
they took beautiful comic books and turned them into a beautiful movie.
Great fucking writing. I mean, nobody can write. Nobody can time a joke better than Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
I think he times jokes perfectly in this movie. You have to remember, the Avengers, they're just as funny and they're just as fun to watch as they ever have been.
You can be in a scene, right, where it's really heavy and a new this potentially extremely dangerous machine has just been birthed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're just laughing.
Yeah,
you know,
because you need that break, and he gives it to you. He just knows what you want, and he gives it to you as a fan of the comics, as just a fan of cinema, of a guy who just wants to watch a fun movie on the weekend.
Totally.
He gives you everything you want. And you know what's crazy is I was reading the articles about how Joss Whedon, he had such a hard time making this movie. He was having mental breakdowns left and right, and you see it on the screen. You know, like, oh God, managing all of that. And can you imagine managing all that?
No.
And then he nails it. He fucking nailed it. He did. He caught lightning in a bottle and he pulled off the impossible, I think.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
The impossible feat of making an Avengers better than the first.
Yes.
When I first saw Avengers, really that was it, right?
Like,
that was the best.
I thought that was as good as it could ever get.
And then now it's thinking the same exact thing.
Setting the bar higher and higher. I don't know how he could top this. Like, I'm just saying to myself,
honestly, what I want to happen is I want there to be a third Avengers, and I want that
Civil War.
Yeah. And I like this Civil. Like I've I've watched a couple cartoons on like the Civil War, and I love that idea. And I love that idea of at the end of an Avengers trilogy. Just
and that will be.
I'm okay if it's a 5-hour long movie.
Playing Hulk.
but that'd be the end of the Avengers.
No, many people know this, but I have 2 dicks.
Oh, what?
Oh. I knew that.
There's a lot of jerking off going on in this room. It's getting quite hot in here. Just
in 2 ways.
Yes, man.
Yes.
Anyways,
It's so
I can't express my love as a comic book reader, as a fan of cinema, as a fan of Joss Whedon, as a fan of, and I mean, one of the things that I really like about this movie is that unlike other Marvel movies, he brings some real consequence in this. Don't expect everybody to be hunky dory by the end of this. This kind of had a feeling of almost to me like Empire Strikes Back in a way, where the ending is very bittersweet.
Yeah.
What if they do that? What if they do the fucking? Never mind.
No, it's just there's so many things they could do.
No, I just meant like this kind of because I think, as far as my opinion, is that Empire Strikes Back is the best.
Yeah.
And if the first one is good, second one is better, and then the third one is.
I don't know, dude. Toy Story 3 was really fucking amazing.
That is.
There are some good trilogies out there.
The thing is, I have a feeling that Joss Whedon's not going to do the next one, and it's going to be good, and it's going to wrap it up. I hope it wraps it up, but it's going to wrap it up in a trilogy bow, and it's going to be bittersweet, and it's not going to be as good as the first 2.
I don't know. I got the only thing that
it was so good.
The thing about it though for me is that
so good.
Unlike those other movies that we just talked about, the blueprint's already there. They have the comic books that they can draw on. And honestly,
that's what we want.
Yeah.
We want Planet Hulk and Civil War. That's confirmed. But we want those things, right?
We want to see Thanos. We want to see that
fuck off with Thanos already. They're so hinting at him like, ooh, someone's foot.
It's not even a hint anymore.
Yeah, it's not. But and then he just. It's like, stop.
Yes. Oh, dude, yeah.
And Josh Brolin as a voice, I dig that.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I totally, I forgot that, but that's canon. That's also Marvel. That's the same
I'm excited
universe.
to see Chris Pratt in that universe, too.
That would be awesome.
Oh my god. I forgot that Chris Pratt and Robert Downey Jr. can share a screen.
Imagine that. Imagine the Guardians meeting up with the rest of the Captain
Rocket
America
Raccoon.
Dude, Hulk and Drax, the shit they could do together.
See, we're already imagining,
This is the beauty of these Marvel movies is the idea of
limitless potential.
I don't know about Valdo, but for me as a filmmaker, my favorite thing is having a world that you can delve and lose your mind into.
Yeah.
And you can explore the different space. And just like our universe, there's so many deep, vast corners that all connect, and that is my favorite part about
That's
movies.
why we read comic books. We read comic books for the universes, don't we?
I love that. Before they retconned Star Wars,
yeah,
I knew like the ins and outs of the Star Wars universe and all, like, I fucking love getting into the universe.
Yeah.
Like when we watch a movie, sometimes I'll question like the political stances, like how.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound pretentious. I realize I am.
Well,
but,
no. But the thing about it, I mean,
love that so much. Like
someone, I forget who described it to me this way, but somebody was telling me that his favorite parts in the original Star Wars trilogy were the parts where it was just Obi-Wan talking about the past and the history, and he was saying, like, I remember the Clone Wars, and then you're like, oh shit, the Clone Wars, what the fuck is the Clone Wars? You want to know more about that, and this movie does that in a very, it almost does that to me, and that, like,
the way of, like, you're questioning, like, the depth of the universe.
How much bigger does it get? Like, how much more is there? And there's so much more they can draw.
They always hint. They hint all the time, because I remember in Winter Soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about this kid because the Hydra things that Tony Stark made that's targeting people, like, they're on their hit list was like this kid who's like 14 and just finished college. That's an actual character. That's I can't remember who it is, but that's a person who's actually a big deal. In
little hints that they drop like that throughout the entire film,
and just the drawing and, like, the planting of everything. And the thing is, the cool thing about it is, there's so much laid out via the comic books that they can draw and take pieces from. And take this, and it almost builds them a model and a map for a story, you know, because it's already been all, like, mapped out, and they can focus on the craft of making it.
In my eyes, they have no excuse to make a bad third film. They have no excuse, because they have so much good material to draw on. They've already built up such great characters, such a great storyline.
And with the model that they're going, where they have, like, the little films, and then the Avengers, and then the other ones, Winter Soldier, and then Avengers 2, I think they could take a lot of time with it. They're not necessarily rushed. They could kind of they could work on Hawkeye.
I say wait another 2 years. Like,
I have no problem.
I'm fine. I will wait as long as it takes them to make.
I'm willing to wait.
Be careful now.
No, now I want to see it. So obviously, like I don't want to die.
But as long as the best part, the smartest thing about Marvel is that. The thing is, if you're waiting, you're not really waiting.
Yeah.
They're just teasing you with different sections of this universe. Just being able to tell you that, like,
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's coming out. Ant-Man's going to be a part of that. Oh, we had the show called Daredevil. That's all taken place.
Same universe.
We're going to talk about that on a separate time. We're going to do this movie now. You know, like, all of these different things that are all just...
building up.
Coalescing.
You know, I think they're doing... I think they might actually be doing a standalone Vision movie.
That would be something.
I heard that.
That would be fucking something, dude.
That would be...
Like, I'm trying to think now back to just scenes that I love, but I can't... My brain doesn't register it as, like, I love that scene or I love that scene. It just compartmentalizes it all as... you love this movie, Valdo. Yeah. And this whole movie goes in the love box. And that love box is filled with all the things you love, like the Matrix and dildos and things like that.
And they weave everything so, like, from the other independent movies, they weave those so well into the actual, like, they'll have Mr. Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
In
Don Cheadle shows up, and he's so
have,
fucking fun and cool.
So much star power.
And they have Falcon.
And nobody it was funny, other than Falcon, nobody felt wasted. Nobody felt wasted other than Falcon.
Falcon just showed up and was like, "Hey guys," and then he left, and then at the end he's like, "Hey guys, I'm here again."
Yeah.
I got wings.
For one day.
I don't really have good powers. I just have wings.
Also, it's not really special because there was actually an entire unit that had these wings, but I guess it's just gonna be me.
I'm the only one with the wings left.
I don't know why.
I was the best.
Mm.
But,
they do a great job.
They'll probably give him another sort of thing. They always, whenever a character gets too weak, they always give him something else. They're like,
"Oh yeah,
you get this one piece of special equipment that no one else has. This is the glove of catching energy, and you can shoot it back out." Like, they always.
In this movie, they did a fantastic job of taking characters that you felt were weak in the first one and really making them like an integral and part of the team.
I remember how Hawkeye felt at the first movie, and now he gets some of the best scenes. He gets my favorite line.
Honestly, he gets my favorite character of the movie. Like he had the most development,
and he had the most to lose.
Yeah, and you know what?
And there's that part where you think I'm assuming this is still spoiler territory. You think he's gonna die,
and then
they totally. I looked over at Valdo at half, like, right as they took him, they went to his house, and I was like, oh, fuck.
And then I was
They're
like...
gonna kill him off.
And then that second he said that, I was like, you keep your fucking mouth shut. If you were right, I will fund you.
And that's the thing, too. And I think me and Valdo, the whole movie, we kept feeling it, because they kept having intimate scenes with Hawkeye.
Oh, absolutely, the entire time. When they showed his kids, and he picked them up, and I'm like, oh, dude.
They're gonna kill
Stop,
him.
dude, they're gonna kill him. It's gonna be like Phil Coulson from the first one, except for gayer.
Yeah, and
I mean, I can't say gay, because it's 2015.
Okay, whatever.
Uncool.
It's so uncool that it's cool again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I used to say faggot. I mean, like, well, you guys with this PC shit.
I don't know. Never mind.
Shut down!
I think that faggot is actually really offensive just because of the origins, but that's another thing.
Bundles of sticks.
No, but they used to light people on fire to use as kindling for witches. Like they put the faggots underneath. So when they were when they were burning witches, they would put the people beneath them and then use them as kindling for the witches. It's like you're not even as good as a witch. Like we use you.
You don't even get your own fire.
Yeah, seriously. That's why I don't know.
You just gave me a lot of good ideas. you just opened up a whole new window of possibilities.
All right.
This shit got dark.
Give me a credit.
Much darker than the Avengers movie did.
But actually, you know what? One of the things I liked about the movie was it did get a little bit dark.
It did get dark.
Yeah.
And it did get fun when we needed it, but it did get dark when we needed it.
Yeah.
It was not
It never went dark.
James Spader and his goddamn voice.
Like his voice, seeing like
There's
this
no strings
Ultron
on
as
me.
like robots, like his robot.
Oh,
I feel like all his best quality is just be able to talk about philosophy as like a rambling.
Well, I mean, like
insane...
as he said, he didn't have many people to talk to.
Yeah.
But he was so effectively creepy.
Yeah.
He was like my favorite scene is when he had that one robot talking to Scarlett Johansson, and then he just rips it apart from behind to show that you can't stop me.
That was really cool.
That was so well done. There are so many, like, oh god, I'm just thinking back, like, the jokes about Captain America cursing, the joke, like, there are so many things that they set up at the beginning, and they wrap it all around at the end, and they pretty much wrapped up everything that I can think of. I mean, like, for me, it was very flawless.
It was a top to bottom film.
Yeah.
Like,
and the things that are open
in the best way,
like need to be open, right? Like with Thanos and the new Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Hulk.
So many Avengers.
The balancing of like, because middle movies. That's the question about a middle movie is being able to wrap up a movie without and still leaving room for a third one without having that like big empty feeling of like, oh well, that didn't give me the exact, because and all the loose ends aren't full, because that's what it totally wrapped it up, and it gave you an entirely packaged film while also saying, but
there's more.
Yeah.
See, and that's why I like the Avengers movies, is because if you don't have to see Iron Man, you don't have to see Thor, you don't have to see any of the other movies, the little in-between movies, you can just see the Avengers and still love the movies just on those movies alone, but they also say, but if you want more, you can have that option.
And they reference them too.
Yeah.
Like Captain America talking about like, freaking, he's like, I've experienced her flirtation firsthand, you know what I mean? And like,
and I know, you know what they're talking about, but I mean, like, you don't need to know.
And
that scene, sorry, I just have to mention it because it really, most of these comic book movies, like, I can sit through and it never hits me, but like, there was a look that Scarlett Johansson gave as the witch when she was talking about being, like, sterilized, that I was just like, oh shit, that's some real shit.
Definitely, you forget, at least I do, I forget how hard it is to act a lot of the time. Like, and then you see like the emotion, the real like feelings.
Joss Whedon's really good at that. He's really good at the acting, especially with, female characters.
And all the characters.
Like all the knowing, goddamn, the A-listers that were on this movie, and all the people that had to work, and then just. Wow.
It's also a feat of just filmmaking in and of itself. It's a real juggling act to make this movie, and he pulled it off.
True to each character. Yeah.
He pulled it off in a way that made it seem flawless.
I know. He's just like, oh yeah, that's exactly. It's so easy sitting here to be like, oh yeah, that's exactly how that movie was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But the amount of time and toiling that it took.
You feel that love and effort.
Yeah, that love and effort, and like you just. Him, like, you got to give shoot out props. Like Josh Whedon, I hope you listen to this not because I care about anything else other than giving you like props, dude. Like I know there's like a lot of talks about how stressed you were getting making this movie. Everyone needs to give
all that stress. All of it was fucking worth it because this is probably one of my favorite comic book movies.
Yeah,
it really does. It does everything. Like there's not a single thing where I was like, or they could have done better. I don't think that they missed anything. I can't really think
if I were to
wait. There's one thing.
If I were to try and come up with complaints, I feel like I'd be just.
And my complaint is just it's really stupid. My complaint is that the Avengers at the end didn't come together and fight Ultron, right?
Yeah, they did.
No, they did, but it wasn't like
all of them working together as one.
Yes. It was more like Hulk punches him, and then he flies somewhere, and then Scarlet Witch goes over. That's my one complaint. That they didn't all to be honest, team up.
That's completely fine with me because
they had that badass moment where they were all in that one little area, and the camera circles around them
and that
for
was
what feels like an eternity. And it's just like, dude, I need to see this movie again just so I can follow other characters as they beat the shit out of robots in the sky.
I know, because you're like, who do I want to watch right now?
This is also cool.
I remember watching Iron Man fly past, and then when I looked at Iron Man, I was like, shit, I just missed a ton of shit over there. Like,
And the whole movie feels like that. I want to see this again just to see all the shit that I missed.
My complaint is not a valid. It's not like a super complaint. It's kind of just like I kind of wish there would have been a time where but that's kind of like a bigger, like a huge threat, like with those flying things in the first one. If they had all ganged up on one of them. Never mind. I'm just trying to say, you're just trying.
See how hard it is to find a complaint in this movie? Because if you try and complain, you feel like, man, I'm such an asshole.
And my complaint is, it's fucking stupid. It's just.
If I had a complaint, my complaint is equally as stupid. I was like, there was one fight scene that was kind of shaky cam.
My complaint is not even a complaint. I'm just like, I can only handle one more of this. I can only handle one more where the theme is Avengers. We must get together to defeat the enemy.
You know what
I love. Don't get me wrong. And it's one of the biggest pros of the film and the first one. The idea of Avengers, let's assemble. Avengers, let's assemble. I want one more fight, and the Civil War is the perfect vessel for that type of.
And you know what? It's not even a Avengers movie. It's a Captain America movie. It's Captain America's Civil War.
Yeah.
So
I don't know anything about Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk.
I've heard actually.
Planet Hulk
is the best Hulk storyline.
We humans send Hulk to a different planet. He goes through a wormhole, and then he crash lands on a planet, and he fucking takes control of that planet in a gladiatorial ring. He beats the king, controls that planet, raises an army, and goes back and kills Earth.
Yeah,
fights Earth.
Yeah. And think about that. What's the one way you defeat a Hulk? You shoot him into space, because that's the only fucking thing that'll stop him.
The way that Tony beat the Hulk in this is really vague. On purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, because, really, punching him doesn't work.
He was already relaxed.
I think that is a big deal
about it.
Scarlet
Witch, thing
Widow.
pulled back. Scarlet,
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah, when he saw all the people, you know what I mean? Because normally you can't really beat the Hulk. And I love that. That's my favorite thing about the Hulk is that the only way to beat him is to get him to be relax and peace. Maybe if I'm gonna be super pretentious and get into metaphor, maybe Hulk represents war, and the only way you can't beat war with violence.
Get a load of this.
No, it works, but it's so just freaking.
Dude, Hulk is just. Hulk is war, and you can't beat war with violence, guys. You need to be.
Well, you see, Iron Man's actually
Scarlett Johansson. That's what
Iron Man's actually a metaphor for Bush. Because
he did not
Bush and Cheney and and Samuel Jackson is the Barack Obama of the universe.
Yeah. Because
comes in to restore order to a complex and chaotic world.
And Hawkeye is just your average man.
He really was the straight the.
It was. He totally. And that's the thing. In a movie that wasn't good, I would be like. They're manipulating. They're totally trying to be Hawkeye is the everyman, and they're trying to give the everyman as a vassal for you to relate to these giant gods. But I don't care.
He was a vessel.
He has that line where he's
There's fucking robots flying around everywhere, and I have a bow and arrow.
That
It doesn't make sense.
Single best line.
That's my favorite line in the movie.
movie.
He gets my favorite line in the movie, and I was like, God damn, I didn't think.
You said Hulk became your favorite character, or like
Yeah,
you liked
yeah.
him a lot more. Why is that? Because I love the Hulk.
Well,
and I will.
They gave him so much.
They gave him so much more to do.
Last time it was almost like an introduction to him because it was Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk.
And we
you
was
were
like, we had to reset from Edward Norton because we're gonna change it up again.
He was Mark Ruffalo in Avengers.
This is not Eric Bana.
In the very first one.
But like now that they're finally giving the Hulk more character, more backstory, and we're finally getting to the point where we're discussing how much he hates himself and how afraid he is of himself, and how like my favorite scene in his storyline was the moment when he's back on the ship and he's just under the blanket. He doesn't say a word, he doesn't say anything, but you can just see the pain in his face knowing that he did that.
Yeah,
like
the thing
I love that.
I think I don't like the most is how much he like references that he's able to control it, but then he's like totally not.
Yeah, there's one thing.
No,
like,
that's the thing is he can that. I think the reason that was the problem was he can control it, but like when somebody like Scarlet Witch comes in and takes over, there's still a part of it. Like
There's
he can control just because you can like you know what I mean. Like you can control certain things. You can manipulate a force doesn't mean it's still. It's like the nuclear weapon thing. Like we're all like, oh, we can control our nuclear weapons, but what if somebody gets the launch codes? You know what I mean? Like it's still a nuclear weapon. So I think that's kind of how he feels.
Way
about
more
the
power
whole...
than he feels like he can control.
Exactly. Like.
There is actually like a huge flaw in the character of Ultron in that he really did just want to kill the Avengers. If you really also he was obsessed with the idea of a meteor. Yeah. Because if he wanted to wipe us out, he would have just launched all of our nukes because he had the code.
No, but they explain that by saying that Jarvis was living inside.
Yep.
That
I remember now.
Yeah.
Fucking Jarvis. I love Jarvis. Spoilers. When he you can't see this, but air quotes died in the beginning. I was
actually really fucking heartfelt. I was like, dude, no, don't kill Jarvis.
With his cute little accent.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Paul Bettany, no.
Yeah,
I like him. And then the best part is he gets to graduate from freaking Jarvis to freaking full-bodied, like...
The Vision.
And the fact that Paul Bettany, they were just like, we have this A-list actor just chilling as a computer voice. Why do we
I wonder if Ultron...
And it works in the story, too.
I wonder if Ultron had, like, completed and he would have looked like James
Spader. Fat, bald head James Spader. No. That's what...
Dude, I can't believe how... Because in the comics, the Vision is super fucking powerful. Like crazy. I love how it's just like Captain America, super strong dude with a shield, and then the Vision. Like, I'm not selling Captain America short, but the power scaling is just crazy.
Yeah, it's the leadership, okay? I'm a big advocate and defender of
He's
Captain
a Boy Scout.
Yes.
He's a complete Boy Scout.
They make fun of him enough. I like Captain America.
But he's still the leader.
Hey, come on. The only person I can relate to in this entire thing...
He's a tactician.
Tony Stark. I mean, I'm also a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Technically, he's only a guy in a robot suit, so, I mean, power differences.
Okay, pointing out, not...
I always read...
It's not just the robot suit, but I'm gonna let you...
I always feel most amount of familiarity and like I relate mostly to Idris Elba because I'm black and white.
Yeah. And I love how Idris Elba, a guy who's like top bill on other films. Like this is one thing that I loved about this film.
Seeing A-list actors have minor roles. I love that.
Such minor roles. You're just like, oh, Stellan Skarsgård has like 4 minutes of screen time. Probably more like a minute and 30 seconds.
He carries other movies, like, on his back.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, where he's just amazing in, and he just has like one scene.
Yeah, and he's awesome.
And he's awesome, and Idris Elba, who just carries Luther, like, you love that show.
I fucking love Luther.
He has
Everybody
a show
wants
to himself, and he's just like, oh, yeah, you want me to come in and do like one scene with Thor? Yeah, I can do that.
They just finished, by the way, they're filming the next season of Luther. I'm very excited. Everybody get excited for Luther. Everybody watch Luther.
It's all part of the Marvel Universe.
Oh god, dude, don't say that.
Don't open up that gate, man.
I just opened like
give me a
I just
panic
fired
attack.
some neurons in Valdo's brain, and he's starting to twitch
You know,
out.
I'm gonna correct myself. Okay, I was out of line when I said Captain America was just a pumped up guy with a shield.
Goddamn right
okay?
you were.
I was out of
a
line.
tactician.
He's
a
much
leader.
more than that. Okay.
Because
I realized I said Iron Man was more than that, and they're both more than that. Okay. I apologize. That was
That's
wrong.
the thing
of
is
me.
you can't don't insult one and not as they all had their and then he's the only one who
I
was
just
able to
want-
budge the shield.
I just like Iron Man more. Okay,
That's fine.
that's what it all
That's
comes
actually-
down to.
As far as character wise, there is a certain amount of I like what they've done with Captain America because part of him is he has to be moral. That's just who he is. But I like what they've done with this idea of him being the forever soldier and that battle with himself of wanting to have peace, but really he defines himself.
That was actually a
war.
really cool line.
And I love-
by James when he was like, "You you can't live without war."
Yeah.
Or something. I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's true."
And then
Yeah.
I love the scene where they have that hallucination that he has to go through and he sees
Like
her there.
dude, that scene was
Where he
one of my
where she-
favorites.
Where she says the war is over.
Yeah,
But you
it's
see it in
never
his
over.
face, like
It's never over.
yeah, you see that in his face. You're like, you realize
when he's in that room,
Yeah.
And they're
that
like-
was one of my favorite. Where like the flash bulbs are like gunshots, and like people are like
They're, like,
fighting kind of, and like there's that guy who's like lying on the ground. And he's like ha ha ha, and he has wine, but it looks like blood.
Oh, I totally
That's-
thought that was blood. Actually,
Yeah.
I thought that,
No,
that was
it's-
just intertwining, like
it's supposed to be wine.
It's supposed to
I
be-
thought.
It was supposed to be
sorry.
wine. 'Cause you-
What that whole thing is, all things that would happen at a party, but all of it making it look like war, and like
Yeah,
I
that's-
thought that was and that fear thing was able to develop each character so much more. Each character using that like the Scarlet Witch's like fear and ingraining it in each of them was able to further each one of their character developments. That was one of my favorite parts. Each one felt like a little art film about every
you know,
like the
that's actually-
ballerinas and Natasha.
That was actually really like
Oh, the Natasha storyline
that
was
was
creepy.
sad. It was,
Yeah,
like-
sad and creepy.
I was like, oof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but especially the scene
I'm-
where you see her firing at the target, then they replace the target with the guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh Jesus,
And
oh
it
God.
doesn't even change. Like,
And
it's-
I knew, like, I'm sure you had to know something was going on when she was like laying there, and there was like the scissors, like,
Yeah.
and there was like cutting. I was like, ooh. I kind of thought that was like an abortion thing, and I was like, kind of like,
You were close.
I was like,
I
was like-
totally like. As soon as she went in like an operating table, I was like, oh
I was
shit, are
really
they sterilizing
uncomfortable.
her? And then they said it later, and I was like, oh fuck, that
Yeah.
sucks. They didn't.
I didn't know. I thought they were gonna like break her pelvis or something. Like they do it like they do for ninjas. Like they say they do, like they have to break their pelvis before they become an adolescent, so that way they can bend farther.
oh yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Except if I was. A
I want
ninja.
that job. I want give me the sledgehammer and just have them in a conveyor belt.
One of
I will
my-
do that job all day long.
Just smashing children.
Yeah. Oh God, don't. Oh, dude, you already gave me hard. Continue.
In what way are you smashing them, to be exact?
I smash him every way possible.
All right.
10 minutes.
Okay.
That's how long we are.
Yeah. How we have left.
Oh well,
Um,
I don't really have any more to say.
I
actually.
have more to say.
There's the thing.
Trust
The
me, I
thing
can
about
talk
an
a lot.
entire universe is that it takes an entire universe of time to describe a universe. So you know what? Go to this picture and see like 3 hours worth of pictures that are all worth 1,000 words.
How long?
So yeah,
That's like,
a lot of words.
yeah. I think that a lot of what, I'm just talking. I didn't have a thought with that. I'm gonna stop that because I'm gonna say something stupid.
I love this movie. Everyone go see it.
That's really all this comes down to. Go see the movie. Go see it.
And if you don't,
Who's-
then-
Let's talk about every character real quick before, like real quick.
Oh! I remember what I had to
Favorite
say.
pieces about
Hold on,
every character.
hold on. I remember what I had to say. I'm really glad that they almost didn't show Hawkeye's fears, right? Because then that made us realize them without being shown.
Yeah.
Right? Because when they showed his kids, we're like, oh, that's his fears, right?
Yeah.
Like that was just like interesting,
And it's so-
and that we're just like
It's a really cool reveal.
Yeah.
How, like you don't even touch that in the first film, and then suddenly you realize, oh my God, he has kids.
But it didn't
He has
feel
a
out of
whole
place.
family.
It never felt
But
out of
it didn't
yeah.
feel like because whenever a movie does that, I'm like, oh fuck you, come on,
Yeah.
don't tell us that afterwards. Don't try to chew
It
on
made
that.
sense.
Linda Cardellini is just
Yeah.
his wife. I'd really like her. She's awesome. You
I-
Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mad Men? I haven't seen her in Mad Men. I just know she's in it.
Yeah, and it really it felt,
Cardellini?
and I thought it was really interesting that that Black Widow did know that they existed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they're like best friends.
Yeah,
And she's like,
BFFs.
thank you for saving my best
That
friend.
was an adorable scene, by
Yeah.
the way, when his wife said something to him about Banner and and Nat, and he was like, "Wait, what?"
Like Natasha and Banner.
He's like, "That's not a thing."
He didn't notice, but she did.
That's totally something like a soldier, you know, or like a guy like that would totally, you know.
Yeah, where it's just like where she says, you know, you never noticed that? What?
I love that he had a dartboard at his house. And
that was so funny.
And just randomly, he was like in the other room, like. Iron Man is trying it and like missing, and from the other room.
So I do archery, and I want to point out one thing about Hawkeye that's really cool is that he never, because in a lot of things they do archery wrong.
Yeah.
He actually does it all right. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. Like he has the arm guard, he has the finger covers, he has everything, and he always like the actions are all very correct. Like the things that he does, the way he draws, all that, it's all right because they always have a tendency to like you know. Fuck up archery, right?
Yeah.
But he does it all right, and I think that's a really cool design.
And I like how he's not just limited to like he's actually necessary. He does shit. It's not just a guy with a bow and arrow. Yeah. As he calls himself that, but he's more than that.
But I think it's really cool that we showed his mindset that he really does kind of feel like I'm just a guy with a bow and arrow. Yeah. Like what? This guy can fly. He has a camera.
Thor's a freaking demigod.
He's a god, and he's running around like. New York.
If this guy stubs his toe, he's unstoppable. Like, why do I fit in here?
Yeah, Hulk.
All right, well, I gotta take a piss, so I'm gonna call this review.
I also have to urinate.
I have to take a dump because all of my excitement has built up in my anus.
Have you ever crossed the streams? Come on, it's fun. I'll show you.
Never crossed the streams.
Come on.
That's
that was
what
a
we're gonna
pee joke.
leave you
We're
with.
sophisticated.